In 1995, a 12-year-old boy stood alone in a departure hall on the island of Madeira, sobbing. His family had almost nothing. His father drank, his mother cleaned houses. He was leaving everything he knew for a football academy on the mainland, a place where he knew no one. He would cry himself to sleep every night for months. Within weeks, the other boys mocked his thick island accent. The coaches debated sending him home. That boy's name was Cristiano Ronaldo. He did not go home. He became the highest-scoring footballer in the history of the sport. This is how he actually did it. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, in Funchal, Madeira. Madeira is a volcanic island 800 miles southwest of Lisbon, remote, steep, and poor. His family rented a single room in a cramped hillside house in the Santo Antonio neighborhood. His father, José Diniz, was a gardener and a kit man for the local football club. José Diniz struggled with alcoholism his entire life. His mother, Maria Dolores, worked as a cook and a cleaner to keep the family fed. Cristiano was the youngest of 4 children. Almost from the moment he could walk, he kicked a football. At 8, he joined Andorinha, the local club his father helped kit. His coach at Andorinha later said the boy was unlike anything he had ever seen. At 10, Nacional de Madeira signed him. 2 years later, Sporting Lisbon came calling. Sporting scouts had watched him for one trial session and offered him a place immediately. There was just one condition. The family had to pay Sporting $1,500 for training. Maria Dolores scraped together every cent she had. In September 1997, 12-year-old Cristiano boarded a flight to Lisbon. He had never been away from home before. He arrived at Sporting's academy in Alcochete, a concrete complex of dormitories, pitches, and gym blocks. He was the only boy from Madeira. The accent marked him instantly. The mainland boys called it strange, called him strange. He called his mother every night. Some nights he begged her to let him come home. She always told him the same thing: keep going. So he did. At Sporting's academy, Cristiano trained harder than anyone else on the grounds. He stayed after every session. He asked the groundskeepers to leave the floodlights on. He practiced free kicks alone until his legs ached. At 13, doctors discovered he had a racing heart, a condition called tachycardia. His heart beat irregularly during exertion. Surgery was the only fix. He underwent laser surgery at 13 years old. Doctors warned him he might never play competitive football again. He was back on the training pitch within weeks. By 16, he was playing in Sporting's first team, the youngest player in the club's history. In August 2003, Sporting played Manchester United in a friendly at their new stadium. Cristiano, 18 years old, ran at United's defenders repeatedly and tore them apart. United's players begged manager Sir Alex Ferguson to sign him that same night. Ferguson signed him for £12 million, a record fee for a teenager at the time. But Old Trafford was not the welcome he had imagined. The English game was physical and fast, unlike anything in Portugal. English fans and pundits criticized his stepovers as showboating. Defenders targeted him specifically: hard tackles, elbows, studs. In 2004, he failed to deliver consistently in his first full season. United finished 3rd. Rivals called him a luxury player. All tricks, no end product. Then came the 2006 World Cup and the incident that would almost destroy his reputation. In the quarterfinal between Portugal and England, his teammate Rooney was sent off after a clash. Cameras caught Cristiano winking at the Portugal bench after the red card. The image went global. English fans were furious. When Ronaldo returned to Manchester, he publicly stated he was unsure he could play in England again. There were death threats. There was hatred online and on the streets. Ferguson convinced him to stay, but the pressure was enormous. In 2006, his father, José Diniz, died from liver failure caused by alcoholism. Cristiano was 21 years old. He had never truly known his father sober. He later said the grief consumed him for months, but instead of retreating, he channeled it. He stopped being a showman and started being a killer. He restructured his game from the ground up. Fewer tricks, more goals. He remade his body, hiring nutritionists, redesigning his sleep schedule, eliminating alcohol. He trained on Christmas Day. He trained when injured. He trained when teammates were sleeping. His teammates at United described his obsession as something they had never encountered before. The 2007-08 season was the detonation of everything he had built. He scored 42 goals in all competitions, a Manchester United record. United won the Premier League, then the Champions League final in Moscow. He won his first Ballon d'Or. the most prestigious individual award in football. In the summer of 2009, Real Madrid paid Manchester United £80 million for Cristiano Ronaldo. It was the most expensive transfer in football history at that moment. 80,000 fans turned up at the Bernabeu Stadium just to watch him be presented. At Real Madrid, he entered the greatest rivalry the sport had ever seen with Lionel Messi. For 6 consecutive seasons, one of them won the Ballon d'Or. They split the world. Cristiano won 4 more Ballon d'Or awards in 2013, 2014, 2016, and 2017. At Real Madrid, he scored 451 goals in 438 appearances, the most prolific run any player had ever produced for one club. He won 4 Champions League titles with Real Madrid, 3 of them consecutively, a feat no one had managed in the modern era. He became known as the most complete footballer on earth. Pace, power, headers, free kicks, long shots, penalties. In 2016, he led Portugal to their first ever European Championship. He wept on the pitch in Paris. The boy from Madeira had brought his country its greatest prize. He left Real Madrid for Juventus in 2018, at 33 years old, an age when most players retire. He won 4 consecutive Serie A titles. He won the league's top scorer award in his first season. He returned to Manchester United in 2021 and still top scored in his first season back at 43 league games. By 2023, playing for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, he became the first man in history to score over 900 career goals, 5 Ballon d'Or, 5 Champions League titles, 1 European Championship, a century of goals for Portugal. He became the most followed person on social media in the history of the internet. All of this from a one-room house on a remote island in the Atlantic. None of it was given. Every piece was built. The rivals changed. The clubs changed. The countries changed. The work never did. There is a detail that stays with you once you know it. When Cristiano was a child, his boots were the cheapest his mother could find. Some were second-hand. Some were too small. He wore them anyway. He trained in them until they fell apart. Today, Nike has paid Cristiano Ronaldo a lifetime deal reported to be worth over $1 billion. The boots changed. The habit of wearing them out completely never did. Cristiano Ronaldo did not succeed because he was born with talent no one else had. Plenty of boys in Madeira had talent. He succeeded because when every reasonable excuse to stop appeared, the homesickness, the heart surgery, the mockery, the grief, he trained harder instead. That is the actual answer, documented in training logs, in testimony from teammates, in the numbers. Not the story of a naturally gifted boy who floated to the top. The story of a frightened 12-year-old on a plane, weeping into his sleeve. Who decided the pain was the point? Who dried his eyes and put on his boots? And did not stop for 30 years.